Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video on the Small Brain Pilot channel. Today, we're going to be flying this beautiful Boeing 737-800, rocking the FlyDubai livery from here, Bahrain International, over to Dubai International, a very short hop across the Gulf, which should take us roughly around an hour and a half, depending on weather conditions. But anyways, without further ado, we're going to start our walk around. We want to make sure that the pitot tubes are clear over here. That is very important because the pitot tubes allow us to tell us our airspeed. We don't want to repeat of the Malaysian Airlines flight out of Brisbane, where the engineer missed the pitot tube covers, so the aircraft took off with those still in place, and due to that, while they were airborne, they did not have any airspeed indicators, and because of that, they had to immediately turn around and land back at Brisbane. Luckily, it was a safe event. I mean, it wasn't safe. They had a safe landing, and there were no injuries, but it was still a highly dangerous situation that we do not want to find ourselves in. That's why these walkarounds are very important. In the simulator, obviously, we just do this for immersion, but in real life, walkarounds are really essential because it helps multiple people verify that the aircraft is in a flyable state and there's no obvious issues that can be spotted. With that being said, we're almost done with our walkaround, and without any further ado, we can get the jetway connected and board the aircraft and depart out of Bahrain while we still have daylight.
Pakistan 021, the jetway is going to be connected.
Alright, we now find ourselves in the captain's seat, having successfully boarded the aircraft. As you can see, the aircraft is in a cold and dark state, so we're gonna get it started up and prepare ourselves for a departure. Local time is around 6 p.m. and the sun is setting, so I want to make sure that we leave while we still have sunlight, so we can get some beautiful takeoff views and we can admire the epic sunset in the air rather than stuck on the ground. So I'll get started. Alright, so I have configured the aircraft as required. At this point, we are now ready to start up the APU, the auxiliary power unit, and disconnect the aircraft from the GPU, and we can come under our own power. So turn on the APU, we're going to go up here, flick the switch to on, and then hold it up and start, and the EGT should rise as required. We know the APU is now available to use since we can see the APU gen lights come on. With that being said, we can flick these switches and the aircraft should come up onto its own power, and we can also turn on the APU bleed. With that being said, we are ready for pushback and engine start, so I shall meet you guys when we're ready. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully pushed back here out of our gate. As you can see, the sun is setting, so I'm going to be very quick with this. First, we're going to make sure that the beacon light is on. We don't want anyone getting sucked into the engine. And after that, we can flick the ignition to the right if I can find the click spot. And then we switch this to ground and we throw in the fuel. After our right engine becomes available to us, we can do the same procedure for the left. So we can flick the ignition there, that to ground, and throw in the fuel. And while we wait for the engine number 1 to spool up, we can also set the flaps if I can find the view. And we're going to be using flaps 10 for this departure, so we can set the flaps. Oh, nope. Flaps 10. There we go. On that note, I believe the aircraft is now ready for taxi. Well, not yet. We have to turn on the lights. So first, we switch the aircraft to its own power. Just turn off the APU bleed, put the packs on auto, and just turn off the APU bleed. And then we can turn off the APU if I can find the quick spot. There we go. And we can turn on the taxi lights and runway turn off lights. With that being said, we are now ready for taxi. So I shall get ourselves taxied over to runway 30 right, and I will see you guys when we're ready for takeoff.
We're about to begin the safety demonstration, and we need your attention while we take you through the safety equipment on board this Boeing 737-800. You'll find a safety card in your seat pocket indicating the exit routes, oxygen masks, and life jackets. It also shows the brace position you must adopt if you hear "brace, brace." There are 8 emergency exits, 2 doors at the rear of the cabin, 4 window exits in the center of the cabin, and 2 doors at the front of the cabin. Floor-level lighting will guide you to an exit. Please take time to locate your nearest exit, and remember that the nearest usable exit may be behind you. In the unlikely...
As everybody can see, we are now lined up on runway 30 right. And before we start our takeoff roll, I want to make sure that the aircraft is well lit up. I mean, the cockpit is well lit up, because as we can see, the sun is setting, and I do not want to be bringing out the flashlight 30,000 feet in the air. I don't know why I got stuck on the flashlight. I don't know what else was in my mind. Definitely not flashlight. Anyways, on that note, everything looks good. All the lights and stuff are on, but I want to make sure that the circuit breaker is just a bit brighter. You know, you can't be too safe. And I just check around, and yep, with that being said, everything looks good to me. So we can start our takeoff roll now, and if we can just disconnect the parking brake. Very finicky here on the PMDG, but anyways, we managed to do that. And I'll just bring up the engine's thrust. As we can see, they're roaring into life. They look stable to me. Just fix our line. We don't want to be straying off the center line. And with that being said, toga. I love the sound of those engines. Airspeed is now alive. Just trying to keep the aircraft in the center line. Again, first flight back on the PMDG after a while. 80 knots, verified. There's 100 knots. Keeping it on center. It's a very light aircraft, so it wants to run away from you, but still trying to be gentle with it. And V1. Rotate. So I'll just apply some gentle backstick pressure, veering off to the right, using rudder and aileron, keep ourselves centered, positive rate of climb, gear up. And I'm just gonna hand fly this aircraft from the first turn, because you know the PMDG is a beauty to hand fly. And as you can see off to our left, the sun is setting, so we've managed to take off just in time here.
We're about to begin the safety demonstration, and we need your attention while we take you through the safety equipment on board this Boeing 737-800. You'll find a safety card in your seat pocket indicating the exit routes, oxygen masks, and life jackets. It also shows the brace position you must adopt.
Alright, here we are on short final here at Dubai. Coming nicely on the glide scope, 2 reds, 2 whites, perfect. Even though the GPW just said too low, it's okay. We're a bit off to the left of the center line, but it is okay as long as we land on the runway. Any landing you walk away from is a good landing. Coming in a bit high, just trying to center ourselves, keeping wings level. Yeah, I am a bit to the left, but it's okay, we'll take it. And 50, 30, keeping it just gentle. And that is a smooth landing. You know what? It might not be on the center line, but that was definitely butter-worthy. If not butter-worthy, it was margarine-worthy. I'd say that. Reversers are engaged properly. Aircraft is slowing down. Now we're on the center line, so you know, we got there eventually. And under 60 knots, we can disengage the reversers, and we will take the manual braking. See, now this is where I mess up. Again, I do these recordings post, and now I've realized that our gate is to the right because FlyDubai is a budget airline and doesn't have a space on the terminal, so we have to go to the ramp. But me, in my everlasting, I don't know, genius, I take the speed exit to the left. Anyways, I'm just going to use manual braking, slow down, get the taxi underway while you guys enjoy the landing views.
Remember to put on your own mask before helping others with theirs. A life jacket is stowed in the panel above your head, or if you're seated in the front row, under your seat. In the event of landing on water, and only when instructed to do so by the cabin crew, remove it from its stowage and place it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and fasten them securely. Do not inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft. When you are outside the aircraft, inflate your life jacket by pulling the red toggle. If the life jacket fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is a light for attracting attention. Remember, do not inflate your life jacket until you are outside the aircraft. We also carry life cots for babies and life jackets for infants. Please now ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. Your seat is in the upright position and your tray table is stowed. Once again, mobile phones must remain switched off for the duration of the flight. And smoking on board this aircraft is forbidden at all times. Thank you for your attention.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it here to the gate. I believe we're on Terminal E. With that being said, we can prepare the aircraft to turn off the engines. And we want to make sure before we do that, that we turn off the beacon light so we can indicate to the ground services that the engines are now going to be turned off. I can't see anything, so I'm going to turn on the flashlight. Anyways, to turn off the engines, we just disconnect the fuel supply. As you can see, both our engines are now turned off, so with that being said, we can prepare to deboard the aircraft. Before we do that, we want to make sure ground services put in the wheel chalk so the aircraft doesn't roll anywhere, and we can request the ground power unit, and along with that also passenger stairs, because again, FlyDubai, budget airline, not at the terminal, so we're parked at the ramp, so we're going to need stairs to help deboard and deboard our passengers as well. So while that is being prepared, I will come up here and make sure that ground power is connected. So now the aircraft is now on its power instead of the APU. Alright, with that being said, we have concluded today's flight from Bahrain. We're now here at Dubai. And with that being said, I will deboard the aircraft now. Usually the captain doesn't deboard first, but it's okay. It's a simulator. As you can see, beautiful aircraft today, beautiful flight, smooth flying. Honestly, the weather was good, not too cloudy. And yeah, just take these stairs down and one last look and we're off. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's video. If you liked it, remember to like, subscribe and comment any future routes, any suggestions. I will take all of it into consideration. With that being said, Small Brain Pilot signing off for the day.